Alright, so I have like 40 slides in 20 minutes, so let's see how this goes. Hope everybody's awake in the heat. I work for Electric Sheep. We've been in business about 3 years. We work on a lot of different stuff. Gonna keep moving here. So I guess in preparing for this talk, I was trying to think of like why gamers should care about virtual worlds. So here's just some off-the-cuff ideas as to kind of what I think makes it interesting. First off, I think virtual worlds are definitely a new type of play. I don't think it's quite been defined yet exactly what that play is, because there's a spectrum, but I think there's kind of a meld of a bunch of different concepts, but it's definitely a different breed of online entertainment. And I think that emergent behavior inside the virtual worlds is embraced, expected, and probably even more closely watched, because a lot of them focus on user-generated content and self-expression, and that's sometimes the core fundamental and the gameplay secondary. There are developers making money in this industry, though I would say that the publishers right now are probably making slightly more money in that, but there is quite a bit of investment right now in this industry. So I think that people are looking for novel ideas, and because it's so young, if you're really creative and you have some really unique ideas, it's a great opportunity to jump in while the industry is small. Because when you go to EDC, I can just tell you it's a million times bigger than the Virtual Worlds Conference. And it's a good time to get in and become an expert. Even though we don't like experts or whatever that was about, put the shingle out and say they know everything, right? That's me, by the way. Another interesting thing is the platform technologies focused on virtual worlds are oftentimes less expensive. I work with a lot of the platform companies, and some of the MMO platform companies are talking to us and saying, we'd really like to work with you guys. And then I see what they want to sell the license to their platform for, because they're used to selling a multi-million-dollar license to a AAA game developer, and that's not our market. We just aren't developing, that kind of experience. So I also want to talk about competition. I think that the competition is different. In the gaming industry, there's just like a whole section at every library for game design. And with virtual worlds, they're just, and there's countless companies in the industry, which goes back to the whole conference thing. With virtual worlds, I think virtual worlds really sit in an intersection between gaming and social networks and a bunch of other crap that we haven't quite figured out yet. And I think that it's just a very interesting discipline, because I spend my time reading books on sociology, game design, social networks. I mean, you ought to see my feed reader. It's just insane, the breadth of stuff that you have to stay on top of. Also, because it is a new type of gameplay. If you, as gamers, I think it's very important that you recognize that you're going to be that guy if you don't accept virtual worlds. And that guy is the person who didn't grow up with consoles, didn't grow up with MMOs, and basically thinks games are a waste of time. Well, virtual worlds are just another iteration of technology. It's another form of entertainment. And if you don't want to embrace it, that's fine, but you're going to be that guy for the next generation, because the youngest kids are all playing this stuff fairly prolifically. So right now, there's an intersection of industries that we see. It goes kind of like this. We see gaming, social networks, and virtual worlds kind of in a mashup mode right now. It's interesting. Social networks seem to have the persistence or the ability to cross multiple platforms and multiple parts of our life. While I think the hardcore gaming industry is, what's really interesting there is there's a $2 billion a year secondary market for virtual goods and items in those worlds. And what that tells me is that people want an extremely high fidelity experience, but they are buying their way into these hardcore, very complex games so that they can basically shortcut. And there's a whole market there of more casual user experiences to be developed that have that high level of immersion. So this is just a chart of kind of where we're headed, and I'll talk about some specific projects. We just released a first version of a white paper this week. There's a long way to go. It's definitely not the panacea of all virtual world platform comparisons, but basically we're showing that TV reaches, or not TV, websites reach a lot of people for a very short period of time, and that hardcore MMOs reach a very small audience for extended periods of engagement. This is really for marketing people more than anything. We think there's a really interesting engagement area right there in that blue area that we're hypothetically targeting right now, at least on entertainment worlds. So here's how I classify virtual worlds. First is collaboration worlds. These are environments that basically allow you to collaborate on documents or collaborate on 3D objects and things like that. Probably the most well-funded platform in this area is Forterra Olive. By my count, they've gotten over $50 million from private investment and government over the years since 1999, which is the largest, as far as I know, of any platform in terms of collaboration and also simulation. They do a lot of stuff which is coming up. Also in this area, this platform, this is Quack. This is actually not a platform that you can, actually you can host it yourself, but essentially it's a ready-to-go, out-of-the-box collaboration application that you can throw documents up and work on with other people. And then, of course, there's Project Wonderland, which is a Sun Microsystems collaborative suite, which we've implemented as well. There's some really great research. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, go to vhil.stanford.edu. Jeremy Bailenson and his team have done some really cool research on how people can collaborate in virtual worlds and ways to manipulate the environment so that people learn better, all that kind of stuff.